In this lesson, we're going to look at applying the distributive property. So let's take a look at the distributive property. Remember, the distributive property is multiplication. Whenever you have a number or a variable right next to a parentheses, it means to multiply. And so in this case, when we're distributing, we're multiplying an expression. And so we have to multiply the first number or variable by the first term in there, and then we have to multiply it also to the second. So A times B, you get your AB, and then we have A times C, and that's where you get that AC. Now, if I were to take this expression right here, the 2 times 4 plus 5, I could take 4 plus 5 first, and I'd have 2 times 9, and we would get 2 times 9 is 18. Another way of looking at it is that I could take 2 times 4, and that's what's written right here, and you'd have 8. And then I'd have 2 times 5, and that's what I have here. 2 times 5, I'd have 10. And notice how you get the same answer for both of these. Either 2 times 9 is 18, or you could multiply each term in there and then also get 18. All right, example 1, how do I simplify an expression by applying the distributive property? So we're going to simplify these expressions. So we're going to be multiplying again here, and we're going to take our negative 3 first times 4x. And so negative 3 times 4 gives me a negative 12, and then we have our x. And then I'm going to take negative 3. Now, you can't forget that this right here is a negative 5. And if you forget that, another thing you could do is you could just come and you could rewrite it by adding the opposite. Then you know that it's going to be a negative. Either way, they're both a negative 5 there. So negative 3 times negative 5. And if you get a negative answer, you're going to put a minus between them. And if you get a positive answer, you're going to put a plus between them. So negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. So I'm going to have plus 15. And now that's all the further I can simplify this one. Our next one, it doesn't always have to go in front. You could rewrite this one as 8 times y plus 6. And you'd have the same thing. So I'm going to take and I'm going to multiply. And remember, there's a 1 there. So 8 times 1y gives me an 8y. And then I'm going to multiply the 8 times a 6, and I'm going to get a 48. So remember, you have a positive 48, so I'm going to have plus 48. And our last one here, same thing. I could rewrite that as 5 times 6x minus 4. I'm just going to do it like this. And I have 6x times 5, which is 30x. And then I have 5 times, and remember that's a negative. So 5 times negative 4, and that's going to give me then a negative 20. And because I'm getting a negative answer there, I have to put a minus. I'm going to put a minus 20 right here. All right, for number 4, we've got a fraction here. So I'm going to take 1/3 times 9x. Now, if you're struggling with the fractions, on your calculator, just take 1 divided by 3, and then we're going to multiply by 9. So 1/3 of 9 is going to give me 3x, and 1/3 of 12 is going to give me 4. All right, for number 5, I have a minus before the parentheses. So really what's here, I like to just come and put a 1. So what I have then is I have this negative 1 that I'm going to be distributing. I'm going to take negative. I have negative 7. So negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. Now I'm going to take negative 1 times negative 3. So negative times negative is a positive. So I have a positive 3m. So I'm going to have plus 3m. Because I had a positive answer, I'm going to put a plus between the two of them. All right, so our last one here, there's nothing I can combine inside there. I'm just going to go ahead and just multiply all these. So I'm going to take 4 times negative 6x, and I'm going to get negative 24x. I'll take my 4 times my 2, and I'm going to get 8. And my 4 times my negative 8 is going to give me negative 32, and then I've got my y. All right, so let's go ahead and find the area. Remember, area is equal to base times height. So you're multiplying the two sides together. So let's go ahead and multiply the two sides together. I'm going to take 2 times x plus 3. So the area of this one then, I'd have 2 times x, which gives me 2x, and 2 times 3, which gives me 6. And so I can't simplify this any further. The area of this one is 2x plus 6. All right, example number 2, how do I distribute and combine like terms? So we're going to be doing both the distributive property and then combining the like terms. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll start with this first one. I have 3 times m plus 5, and then I have minus 10. So we're going to do this part first. Remember, with the order of operations, it's that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Well, I do have parentheses, but I can't combine anything within them. And then I don't have any exponents. So then remember that the next step is to do the multiplication and division. And again, the distributive property is to multiply. So we're going to multiply here first. We're taking 3 times m, and we'll have 3m. We'll take 3 times 5, and we're going to get 15. And now let's just go write our minus 10 down so we can clean up our problem here. Now we're going to combine like terms. I'm going to take my 15 minus 10. So I've got my positive 15, and I'm going to minus a 10. So I'm going to have my 3m, and I'm going to have plus, because 15 minus 10 is going to give me 5. And so my simplified answer here now is 3m plus 5. All right, for number 2, I have 6 minus 2 times 2x plus 4. All right, remember again, we have to do our multiplication here first. And I'm going to rewrite this because, all right, so remember that this 2 right here is a negative 2. And if it's helpful to you, you could just go plus a negative. You could go plus a negative, so you know that that's a negative 2. All right, so we have to start with the distribution. We're going to start right here. Okay, so I'm just going to write my 6 down here, and I have negative 2 times 2x. All right, so negative 2 times 2x gives me a negative 4. Because I have a negative answer, I'm going to put a negative, or I'm going to put a minus 4x. And then again, negative 2 times 4 gives me negative 8, so I'm going to put a minus 8. And there's nothing wrong with doing plus a negative. It's the same thing, if that's helpful to you. So now let's go ahead and combine the like terms, and I've got my positive 6, and this is it's a negative 8, a minus 8. Again, you could go just like that, and you would have the same thing. So 6 minus 8, or plus negative 8, gives me negative 2, and then I just have this minus 4x left, so it's just going to be minus 4x. And you could have it written that way. You could have this written as negative 4x minus 2, and either one would be acceptable. All right, so number 3, we have negative 4 times t minus 4, and then plus 7t minus 5. And again, we have to start with the multiplication, so I'm going to start right here. So I'll have negative 4 times t is negative 4t. Negative 4 times negative 4 gives me a positive 16, so that's why I have the plus. And now I'm just going to rewrite the rest of the problem here. All right, let's combine like terms. So I have a negative 4t and a 7t. That's going to give me 3t. And then I have a positive 16, and I've got a negative 5, so 16 minus 5 gives me positive 11. All right, and our last one here, we're going to start by, we have to do our multiplication. Notice how we have 2 sets of multiplication here. Let's start with this one here first. So we're going to multiply, and I'll get 30x, and then I'll have minus 25, because 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. And now remember, this is a minus right here. That's a negative. So you could do this. If that's helpful to you, you could do this as well, plus a negative, so that you know what you're multiplying there. So I have negative 9 times x gives me a negative 9. So you could have a plus a negative there. That's fine. Or better yet, Let's just make that, because it was a negative answer, I'm going to put a minus. And now I have a negative times a negative. That's going to give me a positive. So I have plus 72. All right, so now we've done all the distribution. Now we need to go in and we need to combine the like terms. So I'll take my 30x and my minus 9x. I'll get 21x. And now I've got to combine my negative 25 plus 72, and that'll give us a positive 47. So I'm going to put a plus 47. All right, so in this lesson, we took a look at how to apply the distributive property.